Before I begin my portion of the panel, I want to thank First Lady Frances for inviting me to be a part of this symposium on entrepreneurship, and in particular, you young people, for attending and being curious and open to what has and will be presented in this symposium. It is my prayer you will inculcate the information you received during the 2 weeks of lectures and training, the end purpose being you will be awakened to the possibilities that are inside you spiritually, mentally, and financially. As a result, you may become a powerful force to effect positive change in your lives and for your country. The information comes from 73 years of experience and from my mentor, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, co-founder of Optavia, of which I'm associated. Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson is the author of the New York Times bestseller, Habits of Health, and the companion text, Your Life book. My portion of the panel is to discuss self-discovery. We'll begin my portion with a look at the New Covenant and the parables of the talents. In that parable, there was a master and 3 servants. The master entrusts those 3 servants with different amounts of talents. One servant was entrusted with 5 talents, another with 2 talents, and one was entrusted with 1 talent. We're going to bring this up to date and put the parable in a business environment and relate the parable to the economy of Nigeria. Instead of a master, there will be an employer. Instead of 3 servants, there will be 3 employees. It is my understanding that 1 year's wages in Nigeria is 360,000 naira. 1 talent is equal to 20 years of wages. Therefore, 1 talent would be equal to 7,200,000 naira. 5 talents would be equal to 36 million naira, and 2 talents would be equal to 14,400,000 naira. 1 talent, again, would be 7,200,000 naira. So, 1 employee was entrusted with 36 million naira, or 5 talents. Another was entrusted with 14,200,000 naira, or 2 talents. And the last employee was entrusted with 7,200,000 talents, or naira, or 1 talent. The employer charged the employees to increase the value of the naira that was entrusted to them. The employer left the 3 employees to tend to other aspects of his business. He may have had to go to different areas of the country or even fly to other countries around the world to fix and refine, overview, watch what was going on with his company, and instill inspiration and creativity in those that worked in his company. The employer returns and calls the 3 employees into his office and asks for an accounting of what the employees did with the naira that was entrusted with them. The employee that was entrusted with 36 million naira turned the 36 million naira into 72 million naira. The employee that was entrusted with 14,400,000 naira turned his naira into 28,800,000 naira. The employee that was entrusted with 7,200,000 naira returned the 7,200,000 naira back to his employer. The employer was miffed. Excuse me, Mr. or Ms. Employee. You were entrusted with 7,200,000 naira. Your job was to develop a return on that naira. What have you been doing all this time? since I went away. I mean, well, Mr. Employer, you know, it could be a bear market, could be a bull. Oh, could be a bull market, could be a bear market, could be a bull market. You know, real estate goes up, goes down. I mean, but, and I also know that, I mean, you're really demanding. And I was afraid. I didn't want anything to happen to that Naira. So here it is. Here it is. Excuse me, Mr. Employee, Ms. With all due respect, you know, you're on my Kobo. Excuse me, you're on my Kobo. That is, I pay your salary. I mean, your job was to invest the 7,200,000 Naira to obtain a return on that Naira. What have you been doing all this time? What? Playing video games? Watching Netflix? YouTube? Texting your buddies all day? In the words of a famous man, you're fired. Well, in the parable of the talents, you know, the guy was called a slothful servant. The 1 talent was taken from him and given to the guy that had 5 talents. And the slothful servant was cast out into outer darkness. Well, my portion of the panel is to discuss self-discovery and how it helps you and all of us. How does this self-discovery help all of us? We will relate the parable of the talents to self-discovery. Now, what does self-discovery do? What does it? How does it help us? Well, self-discovery helps us, and particularly we're talking about you, to be more in tune with your intuition because it helps you be more self-aware. Well, the 2 successful employees used their intuition, and with hard work, that is, they checked out business perspectives, price to earning ratio, the solidity or how solid financially and as far as billions of Naira concerned, how, you know, the company, how strong the company was. They checked out what was needed in their country, you know, what products and services. They went to R&D. They said, hey, we need this particular product. We need to develop this particular service. And then it was marketed. And as a result, you know, there was a return on the investment. Self-discovery helps you name your feelings, understand where they come from. Well, the 2 successful employees knew their feelings. They knew where they came from and worked on those feelings. That is, they knew, you know, where the feelings came from, and they were able to fix and refine those feelings. And as I say, work through them. Self-discovery helps you speak up and stand up for yourself because it helps you increase your levels of self-worth. Self-discovery helps you stop comparing yourself with other people because it helps you see how unique you are and how unique everybody's journey is. In the parable, there's no discussion regarding how the servant that received 2 talents compared himself, herself, to the servant that received 5 talents. You know, it's easy to compare oneself to someone else. You know, to do so is wasted energy. And that did not happen in the parable. Both servants, and in our case, bring it up to date, both employees, they did their jobs. Self-discovery helps you set boundaries in relationships because it helps you understand your values, what you stand for, and what you're willing to tolerate or not tolerate. Self-discovery helps you understand what holds you back when it's time to make important choices. In our business, We call those things that hold you back obstacles. Self-discovery helps you see obstacles as opportunities. When you see obstacles and as opportunities, we work through those obstacles. Working through those obstacles creates new ideas and also makes for personal growth. Mr. or Ms. One Talent, or 7,200,000 naira, only saw obstacles. He or she did nothing, while the other two employees saw those obstacles as opportunities for growth mentally and financially. The two employees that were given 36 million or 14,400,000 naira respectively saw what was in front of them. Their obstacles were used to create ideas, act on those ideas, and thus develop a return on the funds that were entrusted to them. They looked at business perspectives. They evaluated price to earnings ratio and financial strength of the other companies to invest. They looked around their country and saw what was needed. They went to R&D and requested the development of products and services that would fit the needs of their country. As a result, they were able to have the funds that were entrusted to them generate a return on their investments. The employee that was entrusted with One Talent, or 7,200,000 naira, did nothing. He was scared to do anything. Due to his inaction, his talent was taken from him and entrusted with the employee that was entrusted with 36 million naira. Self-discovery helps you know what you're afraid of so you can get ready to face your fears when it's time to make decisions instead of letting those fears control you. Mr. or Ms. One Talent did nothing because he was controlled by fear. Self-discovery helps you identify your negative self-talk so you can reframe those thoughts and turn them into empowering thoughts. Negative self-talk is like useless applications that are running on your computer. I think we talked about this before. Those applications take up processing space. Identifying that negative self-talk helps you erase that negative self-talk so there's more room for creative thinking. Self-discovery helps you improve your levels of self-love because it helps you make peace with yourself and show yourself compassion. We all make mistakes. Dwelling on those mistakes takes up, again, processing power. Giving yourself compassion helps you move on. Self-discovery helps you diagnose bad habits so you can work on them. In our company, we call it structure. In the USA, there is an epidemic of obesity. That epidemic is a result of a lack of structure in people's lives. The lack of structure results in bad habits. Putting structure in their lives helps them see those bad habits. By developing micro good habits, one after the other, over a period of time, those good habits override the bad habits. Self-discovery helps you build better habits that allow you to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Because the more you understand yourself, the more you understand what you need. When I was in the Air Force, a tech sergeant, young airman, came into the band. I have a degree in business, not in trombone. So, to be a better trombone player, I knew there was a need for more education. This young player had a master's degree in trombone. Whenever he spoke, even though I outranked him, I listened. He made a statement that changed my life, and that was, and this applies to everyone, dealing with, he's talking about young students, and, as related to education and experience. And as far as I was concerned, I was a young trombone player, even though I'd been playing since 1959. He said, the problem is, and this applies to everyone from day one to their last breath of life, and please, this is something you want to start repeating to yourself over and over and over again. I don't know what I don't know. That changed my thinking. That statement is also biblical. For the fear of the Lord is beginning of knowledge. When you fear the Lord, your entire attitude changes. You do your prayer work. You consistently study the Word. You attend your assemblages, and you serve others. All four elements work synergistically. And so in doing so, that baby relationship uses all those tools available to grow from a baby relationship in Jesus to a more mature relationship in Jesus. And I submit, no matter where we are in our growth continuum, our attitude should remain that we are all babes in Christ. Applying that to this symposium as individuals, that we don't know what we don't know, alters our thinking processes that will facilitate our emotional, mental, and financial growth. Another aspect of acting on the concept of I don't know what I don't know is asking the right questions. You're walking along with your mentor and you ask your mentor, is the sky green? The mentor turns to you and says, yeah, the sky's green, sure. What happened there? Wrong question, wrong answer. The thoughtful question would have been, excuse me, Mr. Ms. Mentor, what color is the sky? Mentor looks up and says, sky's blue. Right question, right answer. Another statement that I thought was profound, again from a trombone player, was always seek advice from someone who's more successful than yourself. Self-discovery helps you set more meaningful goals because it makes you see what you want your life to be. In our company, we teach live in the future, act in the now. What that means is you set up 3 areas of thought. The first area deals with immediate self-gratification. The third area is your future self. The area in between are the secondary choices that are going to affect your future self. For instance, you're walking along with your Naira in your hand and you see someone selling pizza. You immediately want that pizza. So you give the vendor the Naira and you have your pizza. For a few minutes, you enjoy the pizza. After that, the pizza's gone and so is the Naira. If we are to live in the future and act in the now, then we want to look at the middle area of the decision making. That process is called structural tension that we use to influence our decisions by way of secondary choices. In our company, we use the trademarked phrase, stop, challenge, choose. In that area, between our immediate wants and our long-term wants are our secondary choices. In that area, you decide if you're going to give up your Naira for the short-term enjoyment of eating that pizza, or are you going to keep that Naira to be used to obtain a long-term return, which may make your life better in the future. Self-discovery helps you recognize your strengths and weaknesses so you can leverage what you're good at and seek when you need it. Recognizing those strengths give you a platform to reinforce those strengths. Self-discovery helps you uncover your biggest dreams in your life. When we are talking with someone who is morbidly obese, our task is to draw out of that person why do they want to get healthier. When the person puts their why in front of them, that replaces self-motivation with reasons to continue their path to ultimate health. As an entrepreneur, we need the why in front of us to keep us motivated and stay consistent in our quest for success. Self-motivation helps you live more intentionally according to your own personal values and belief. We go back to structural tension. The first area is immediate self-gratification. I have my Naira, I want my pizza. The next step up is the secondary area of stopping and evaluating the choice you're going to make. Then, making secondary choices depends upon your goals and your why. Self-discovery helps you nurture your relationships and build other relationships, also known as networking. Entrepreneurship is all about networking. Networking is synergistic to business building. Through networking, you share ideas, and through sharing ideas, you create new ideas. Self-discovery helps you understand your past and make peace with the choices you made when you didn't know better. Making choices when you did not know better is inherent in entrepreneurship. We all make mistakes. We all miss opportunities. Like negative thoughts, dwelling on missed opportunities takes up computing space in your brain. Making peace with yourself helps you erase those negative thoughts of missed opportunities. The thought that I should have done this, but I didn't do it, is worthless. What is of value is using those thoughts of missed opportunities for making more productive thought and action. Self-discovery helps you see where your self-esteem is falling short, so you can work on those things you can improve and accept those things you can't. Lastly, and more important, self-discovery helps you figure out what you want to do with your life. That you are here in this symposium touches my heart. This is the time in your life to figure out what you want to do and what you want your future to look like. The sooner you figure out what you want to do and what you want your future to look like, the sooner you can focus on preparing yourself to obtain the tools that will help you achieve the life you want. Thank you for listening.